The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff. Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried. Sacked by Moore. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
Go! Dallas Cowboys!
Yeah. It's a Cowboys Victory Monday on Talkin Cowboys, presented by presented by Tostitos, the official tip and the official tip of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome into the SWBC podcast studio here from the Star in Frisco. We're breaking it all down for you here over the next 45 minutes. Alongside Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, the great Heckma Harrison. I'm Kyle Yeomans, where the Cowboys take down the Philadelphia Eagles. 41-21 was the final score, and it was a dominant win from all three phases. Heck, I'll let you start things out on this one. What were your initial thoughts of the win?
Chris, I'm echoing.
There you go.
I got you.
You got me?
Yeah.
Man, what were my initial thoughts? Man, we put it on them. Those are my thoughts. We put it on them. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. Isaiah wasn't worried. We went into this whole last week talking about what was going to happen in the game, and I think defensively, guys, you've seen some great things over the last couple of weeks, especially the turnovers. I know there's been a lot of talk about can they continue this trend, and it looks like we can. Trayvon Diggs joins Everson Walls as the only Cowboy to have, 3 straight interceptions in a game. I think
3 straight games to start.
To start the season
with an interception.
First since '85.
And so he went to me first, P. He went to me first, P. I was figuring that he was going to go to you because you always go first in the show.
You had the most energy. I was going to pass it on to you.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
I was going to say go.
I don't understand what's going on. We went last night, and I know you've been up all night. You look like a man that's been up all night with somebody.
I don't know. He's dressed swaggy today, man. I love it. I love it.
Yo,
I just threw on the easiest thing I had in the closet.
But I just came in here this morning with Big Dak energy.
Okay.
And I want everybody out there in Cowboy Nation to know what time it is with this team. And look, man, we looking good. I mean, come on. Come on, what's up? Chris, we might need to start this thing over again.
Heck,
I'm just not getting the bushwhack this morning. I'm like, what's up?
Heck,
nobody else has talked other than you.
My expectations for this team has raised. I'm not excited. As you mentioned, right? I was not worried about Philadelphia.
No.
So am I happy that we won? Of course, but we're supposed to beat up on those guys. They're not a very good team.
We're supposed to beat up on them.
With our current team, with the way our organization is put together right now, with the coaches and the players that we have, we're supposed to beat up on that team.
Yeah.
And that's why I was unbothered earlier in the week. Like, I'm happy that we got the win, but even watching the game live, like there was nothing I was surprised by.
This is an NFC East game when records go out the window. It doesn't matter.
I hear you, but at the end of the day, like we still have a roster and we still have a coaching staff, and they went out there and they executed what they were supposed to do. Right? They played mistake-free football.
Yes.
And they did what they were supposed to do when they played mistake-free football.
Yes.
We talked about earlier in the week. I talked about it in the film room and some other things. Guess what? Jalen Hurts is going to get out the pocket. He's going to want to throw the ball deep. They don't have the patience. Right? All those kind of things. That's what we saw, right? Inaccurate passes, impatience, and then their ability not to move the ball down the field when they were actually moving the ball down the field, right? And then they want to take their big shot. We made them pay, right? We went back on the offensive side of the ball. We converted. We made big plays. We ran the ball really well. We threw the ball well. That's what we're supposed to do. I am not surprised at the result of this game. Am I happy? Of course. I'm not elated because we're supposed to do that.
I was worried about this game. I'll admit it. I was. Because, I thought they'd win. Thought the Cowboys would win this game on the strength of their offense, number one. But look, we've seen the defense last year struggle with offenses that had big play capability in terms of speed. And, Hurts got behind the defense a few times. But this Cowboys defense is
special.
It is a 180 from last year through 3 games. I mean, more than a 180.
Yeah.
What they've been able to do. And if you draw up, like, everything we talked about in camp in the offseason, kind of a template for what we think the Cowboys can be as a good team if things work out. And it's a lights-out offense that's healthy and a defense that has notable improvement. Just be solid. Don't make a bunch of mistakes. Get some takeaways. It's like textbook what we saw last night for what they can be. And yeah, I think you have to have your expectations raised after this game. I mean, I think Philly, you really, to this point, you still don't really know how good every team is. But like Heck said, it's a division game. You had to win games like that. And you won it in a fashion where I think you kind of put the league on notice. Like, this is going to be a very tough matchup, anybody we play this year.
I think I'm kind of in between all three of you guys because I was not worried. I agree with you in the fact that you were supposed to beat up on the Eagles, but man, I'm right there with Heckma in terms of saying the way you beat up on them is what has me excited.
Makes you feel good.
It makes you feel great because it was the first 40 burger that we've seen that has also come with a side of defense.
It should have been a 50 burger. It should have been a
50
48 burger put on them. They robbed us.
Play?
They robbed us.
Yeah.
They robbed us, and I don't care what anybody says. That was a touchdown, and they overturned. Huh?
Which one?
The goal line.
The goal line.
QB sneak with Dak over the goal line.
You call that a touchdown?
There were pictures that surfaced later where the ball
That's touchdown,
was
Isaiah.
clearly
based
over.
upon the evidence at that time.
And it depends on when they blew the whistle and where he was. I mean,
based upon the camera angles did not show.
No,
that
it
was
didn't
a touchdown,
help.
Yeah.
But
a microchip in
But
that
either way, I'm for that too.
Yeah.
I'm for that too because a lot of other leagues have it, and it makes things more efficient in the technology they have it. But the first half, man, our offensive line was teeing off on them, and and I tweeted it, man. We were playing bully ball at that point, and you love to see that, and that hadn't been something that we've done in quite some time. Seeing Zeke finish runs, seeing Tony Pollard in that mix that they do with them both, I think is very unique in a passing setting, in running. I just love what Kellen Moore is doing right now with this offense, having things clicking. But Dan Quinn's ability to simplify the defense from last year, you see guys playing fast, all 11 guys to the ball. And that's just something that we didn't see last year that I think this year, when it's right there in your face and you're like, that's it. Do that. And so yesterday was a coordination for this defense, and Dan Quinn, I loved it.
You got to get the ground game going. It's kind of what goes back to 2016 when the Cowboys had Zeke and they were able to run the ball, wear down a defense, and then have your defense make some plays here and there to get the stop and allow your team to win. It kind of went back to that mindset, but it was balanced at the same time. I mean, Dak still got his throws in. Zeke got his carries. Pollard got his carries. The love was spread on offense, but kind of going back to your point, and then Rob said it a little earlier, this 180 for the defense is so impressive to me because when we were entering this season, what were we saying about the defense? The offense is going to be good. We need the defense to be adequate. We need them to be middle of the road. This isn't a middle of the road defense right now. This is a top 5 defense in the NFL, at least in the way they've played through three games. Wow. It's true.
I like it.
They're leading the NFL in takeaways. The points per game are down. You're able to stop some of the best offenses, aka the Chargers. And I know you didn't stop Tom Brady, but you limited Tom Brady to a certain extent. I'm ultra impressed with the way this defense has played.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, they've been able to stop the run too. That was the biggest problem that they had last year. I think that kind of started everything with their troubles last year.
Have they given up a 100-yard rusher yet? I don't think they've even been close.
I don't think so. I mean, and last night Philly only tries 12 attempts. They're way behind throughout the game, so that's part of it. But that's part of the problem last year is they had so many injuries offensively they couldn't build leads and play bully ball, as you said. And this was a complimentary win. This was as complete a win that I've seen the Cowboys have, certainly under Mike McCarthy. And it did remind me of 2016, but a lot of it reminded me of last week. And sorry, I'm shifting back to the offense here, but I said it last week. Dak Prescott has become such an effective quarterback in this league that defenses don't know how to play this offense right now.
Pete.
They don't know how, and so some of it's the way defenses play. But it was like the Chargers last week. They're going to play coverage and don't let Dak beat us. Well, now we're going to hammer you, and we're going to move you off the ball in the running game. I think that might have been what impressed me the most last night was the way the offensive line moved guys, a pretty good defensive line, around and got the run game going, and another balanced offensive win. And Kellen was in his bag last night again.
Yes, sir. Isaiah, talk about, and I got to ask you this because once you are able to get the running game going, and teams have to honor play action, what does that do as far as what you're able to call as an offense?
You can call whatever the heck you want to, especially when you have guys that are Pollard and Zeke both can do the same things. Now, one might be better in one category than the other. Zeke's going to be more powerful, more downhill. Pollard's going to be more explosive, but they both can catch the ball in the backfield. They both can run screens. They both can come downhill. So when you have backs that can do everything, and then you have the offensive line like we have that's able to punish guys, move guys off the ball, and then you have tight ends and receivers that can get down the field, you can do whatever the heck you really want to. Kellen Moore, kudos to him for whatever he did this offseason. Whatever he did this offseason, he needs to continue to do it because he has gone in his bag, and I hope he's not like a bag of Skittles and it's like the last one in there. I hope he has more in there. It's kind of,
you hope it's a family size.
Exactly.
He wants to share size.
Yeah, I need the Costco pack because he's pulling a lot of stuff out. You see McGovern at fullback, and he's keeping guys off balance. And that's what you want to do as an offensive coordinator. And I think when you have the personnel that we have on the offensive side of the ball, that's expected, but it's not necessarily always carried out. So great job to Kellen Moore. And defensively, a lot of people were surprised. I think you guys know from the day one, Dan Quinn. I know Dan Quinn. I've had him as a coach. I'm not surprised. This is what he does. When he has the personnel, he gets the best out of his guys. He makes it fun. He creates a culture that's highly competitive. Right? Nobody is above anybody else, right? Next man is always ready to come in and fulfill his role because he puts you in position to be successful. Rob P., if you're fast and you run and hit, guess what? I am putting you in a position to run and hit somebody in their doggone chest, and you're going to have a great time doing it, and then we're going to celebrate it every single time. That's what he does, and you're seeing this cultivation of that come to fruition with Dan Quinn, and I'm just excited to see it actually, everybody else to see it, because I was blessed to see it when I was playing with Seattle.
And we made a bunch last week out of how many guys they were missing defensively too, and it didn't seem.
It doesn't matter who's missing.
Rock said it. It doesn't seem to matter. And you're right. They're putting guys in good spots, and they're getting contributions from a lot of young guys too. And it's not just Micah Parsons. We can go down the list. We're doing our Smelly stickers later. So
speaking of, let's get on that. I want to talk about that.
Smelly stickers?
No, talk about the debate we had about Micah Parsons. How successful was he at that position?
Well,
last night.
Okay, so the debate last week on Talkin Cowboys was between Mr. Heckma Harrison, and then in the other corner it was Isaiah Stanback. And ding, ding, ding. So the edge rusher with Micah Parsons versus edge rusher with the linebacker. Micah Parsons as the linebacker. That was the conversation. So I'll let Heckma go first.
Round one.
What did you think about Micah Parsons last night and his contribution in both ways?
I loved it. I love the energy that he brings to the defense. I think when you have a young guy out there that every snap, his energy doesn't go away. He's the same guy in the first quarter that he is in the fourth. He's always actively getting after it. You saw him get those holding penalties. There was a few that they did not call. That was obvious holding penalties. Mm-hmm. But I also see what it does for Randy Gregory. Mm-hmm. Last night, Randy Gregory became the player that I think all of us have been waiting on him to become. There were points in time in the game where it was just like he was dominating that one-on-one matchup. And I just think that from a value standpoint, he showed you that he can change how quarterbacks look at this defensive line.
Yeah.
Because not only him, but Osa Odighizuwa, you saw him emerge, and that's all because offensive lines have to attest or account for where number 11 is at all time. He's a game wrecker. It's just what he does. And I believe he got a sack.
He did half a sack. I think it was combined between him and Osa Odighizuwa.
Yeah. I'll take it.
I don't disagree with you. I think that he's going to make plays. It isn't. I've never disputed the fact that if you put him at defense end, he's not going to make plays. I just think that you isolate him. And there's many times last night I'm just like, God, dog, he's getting washed up. He's getting swallowed up by these guys, and he doesn't have an impact on those plays. So for every 30 snaps, he might really have an effect over 2 plays, versus at the linebacker position, I feel like he would have an effect, or at least affect the play every single play. Like he's in the middle, he's in the thick of things. Tight ends, he's in the thick of things. Running backs coming through the hole, he's in the thick of things. Receivers when they come across the middle, he's in the thick of things. So I like him much better there, and I think a lot of people held their breath when he got his butt chipped yesterday at the defensive end position too.
Yeah.
That hurt.
That's
right?
all. It hurts, right? It's like, why? We don't have to do that. We have other guys that can go out there and put forth high effort, right? And if he's only going to be effective on 10% of the plays that we put him at defensive end, then I'd much rather have him at the second level.
Yeah, he played 37 snaps last night. That's actually 2 less snaps than he played
the week before.
against the Chargers. And I asked Mike McCarthy about playing mostly end again, and I didn't get a specific answer of why, but I would imagine it's mostly out of necessity. I mean, you're losing. You didn't have a Nye, you didn't have Tank, you didn't have Dorrance Armstrong, and so they needed somebody to fill in there. And he dropped a little bit. He played a little bit off the ball, but it was mostly rushing the passer from different spots. He rushed inside. He did. It wasn't. It was both edges. You had Randy Gregory at left end at times. They kind of took turns against Andre Dillard on the left side, and
they avoided the other guy.
Yeah, and they had some success. So I'm curious to see what happens when they get more whole. I think you'll probably see him more at linebacker. But it was interesting for them to say, "Hey, Jalen Smith, you spy Jalen Hurts," and he busted his ass to do that.
Did a really good job doing it.
Yes.
So yeah, credit to Jalen.
Yeah, have to go out of our way to give some credit to Jalen because we go out of our way to give criticism. And I think, he's number 9 is playing.
He's playing well.
He's playing his best ball since 2018.
And Leighton Vander Esch.
Isn't it crazy what competition does?
Well, you can.
IRS.
And I think it's another one of those crazy things when your defense knows what they're doing. When the scheme isn't so complicated that guys absolutely can't play fast. It's also amazing when you have a 95, the Urban, who can gobble up blockers for you and allow guys to scrape and shoot the gaps. And you see all of these things coming to fruition for this defense. And I look, this is only a sample size. So I don't want to jump out the cake yet, but I'm just saying the experience that Micah is getting after not playing defensive end in college, only in high school, I think those things are just going to be add to what he does. So by the time we get to the end of this season, let's see what kind of defensive end he is, what kind of pressure he can get, and when we bring Tank back.
I like the fact that he's getting the experience. My thing is risk versus reward. Right?
I get what you're saying. It makes sense.
It's a double-edged sword. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a freakish athlete. He can do a lot of things. You could put him at kicker, and he'll probably be okay. But the reality is, again, that was a wake-up call yesterday when they chipped on him. Yeah. He could have easily broke his ribs. Easily.
He was pretty upset about that after the game, too. He was talking about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's easy to target him at that when he's coming off that edge. I could pick him apart all day long, and I could put a tight end over there. I could make sure my running back, take his ribs out every single time. Those conversations happen. Sorry, people. Those things happen, right? So I just don't like the risk there because he's such an athlete, people forget that he's human. Because he's such an athlete, people forget that he's human. Let's put him back in his human form. Let's put him back at the second level and protect him because, honestly, that's where he should be. And, again, last night was out of necessity. And, yes, he's going to be impactful no matter where you put him. But let's not take advantage of that to the point where all of a sudden it's too late.
Scared money don't make money.
I hear you, but until Parsons is sitting on the sideline for 6 games and everybody's going to be like, why do we put him at the end?
Mm-hmm. So there's no part of you that feels like if they wanted to, they could just make him an edge rusher
full-time.
They could, but would he have the impact that he has at the second level? Yeah. I think not.
I don't think so either. I don't think you want him to be an edge rusher. You want him to be a linebacker.
You want him to have the capabilities, absolutely.
Exactly.
I agree with y'all. There was times, again, last night where he's screaming off the edge, and it's like a violent first step. And I'm watching.
And it's cool to look at.
Beware style or Von Miller. Yeah, it is cool to look at. And I'm like, man, should he be doing this? Is this his career? Yeah. Could he, if he keeps at this, should that be his role? It's fun to think about.
But Jalen was also unbothered by a lot of it too. As I was watching it, right, like they was screaming off the air. Hurts was unbothered by it, right? And just to the things I was talking about, like he steps up, slides out, like what I'm saying, like that was cool. Like you came off the ball fast, that was awesome, but you're not affecting me, right? But as a collective whole, we affected him, right?
Yeah, it's throwing off the timing.
That particular individual, I don't think had an impact on him as much as we probably would have liked to have seen.
I don't know if I agree with that point specifically. I agree in terms of I still want him to be a linebacker with the versatility of rushing the passer. Yeah. But I don't know. What was that?
Eating W's over here. I'm sorry.
James
Seamus.
That dude's hilarious.
You saw him
I'm
again
eating
yesterday.
W's over here. But nothing's going to bring me down.
That's the thing about Micah Parsons is, what do you always say about guys who are the Energizer Bunny that bring their lunch pail and they go to work every day? Those guys are harder to go up against than the guys who are the most talented guys, right?
Yes.
Well, Micah Parsons has got both of those, so why not use him in multiple positions?
I don't disagree with you guys. Again, I just say sprinkle him in there. Right, salt Bam.
Sprinkle me,
it says salt Bam in there.
A little E40.
But to expect him to play that position in a consistent role for the duration of a game and expect him not to come out.
You're just
injured. Like that's not real. That's just not realistic.
Well, even just to play more. I mean, I don't know how many snaps they had in the game. It was over 55 snaps, and he plays 37. If he's playing off the ball, then there's not a reason
he could play 50 plus.
Yeah. And I want to see him as many snaps as possible.
And then Lane Johnson after the game says, "Man, can I get your jersey?"
How about that?
Respect.
Yeah.
That's respect for a young guy that you know is bringing and applying that pressure on the end. But my question to you is, Isaiah, when it comes down to like the salary cap and the way that front offices divvy up money, most of the positions of importance, obviously quarterback, left tackle, things like that. That's why your edge rushers make the money that they do and cornerbacks make the money that they do because of importance and how they impact the game. You have a guy that's out there impacting the game, and that's why Tank got paid the way that he did because of his impact. And teams are chipping on Tank. They're double teaming him all the time. Look, we can't go into, and my mentality with it is, we can't fear any of those things. We got to let our dog be a dog, go out there and hunt, and he showed you yesterday when he goes out there and he's the best version of himself, teams are having to account for him. We haven't had that. We just haven't had that guy where anybody's like, hey, boy, I better step up in his pocket because he's going to put me on my, he's going to take my head off.
I hear you, and I'm in agreement with you guys. I just don't want us to get greedy.
You don't want it all the time.
I don't want it, exactly. I'm not saying don't put him out there. I'm saying, that's what I said, sprinkle him, right? Salt Bam, change up, right? Curveball, whatever you want to call it. But the moment you start relying on him to be there all the time, and because you get greedy because he can do it, that's when you get snake bit.
He's been impressive the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
No doubt. I mean, whether
go back to second level.
Whenever he's going edge rusher.
Now go back.
He's been very impressive, and so is that defense. But the offense is keeping up their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
When we come back here on Talkin' Cowboys, who deserves the credit on that side of the football? Is it the players? Is it the talent? Is it the front office? Is it the coaching staff? We'll answer that question when we come back on the other side of the break.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay here on Talkin' Cowboys. You've heard that Jason Witten has joined the Caliber Collision team. If you want to join him and do great work with great people for great pay, apply now at jobs@caliber.com. That is jobs@caliber.com. CALIBER. Caliber.com. All right. Continuing on here with Talkin' Cowboys, Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, Kyle Yeomans here breaking down the Cowboys'
41-21 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, I haven't even talked about this yet. The first place Dallas Cowboys. The first place Dallas Cowboys. 2-1, baby.
Yeah.
They got a sole possession of the division lead because of a Giants loss, a Washington football team loss, a Philadelphia Eagles loss. It's a perfect week in the NFC East for the Dallas Cowboys, and hope everybody's having fun. And we talked about the defense in the first segment. Let's go into the offense. Again, 380 yards. It's the first time in 7 starts for Dak Prescott that the offense hasn't surpassed 400 yards. But you didn't need them to. You put up 40 points. It was as efficient as can be. Yes, there was a couple moments in that game, especially right at the beginning with the turnover in the end zone where you thought, oh, here we go again. However, the offense was able to find a rhythm, Rob, and I don't see a way you could slow them down up until this point.
If they stay marginally healthy, I don't know how you do it either. I think you look at a few teams through 3 games in the league and say, that's scary. Yeah. You know, it's the Cowboys and it's the teams with the best quarterbacks. Really, it's despite the Chiefs' troubles, it's Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's the Bucs and Packers.
The Rams are in that conversation.
Rams are in that conversation for sure. Bills have that capability. Obviously, Seahawks. They're in that position because they have a guy under center who can command that type of attention and allow you to be as balanced as you want to be. And I mentioned the offensive line, but credit to Zeke last night. I thought he ran really well. And people want to make something of this carry distribution every week. I wrote about it last week. Mike McCarthy, I looked at the date. On July 29th, he told us we're going to do this. You know, there's going to be games where we do this because we're not worried. They are cognizant of how many carries he's had throughout his career. So they want to manage it. They want to keep him fresh. Tony Pollard's showing they should play him more. I mean, they both had 5.5 yards a carry. They're keeping each other fresh. There's nothing wrong with the thunder and lightning approach. We've seen it work in the NFL. People just look at Zeke's salary and don't understand it. The checks, he's getting paid. So take that out of the equation, and what they've got cooking is really good.
I love that. I love taking the money out of the equation. Play who's the better player or at least has the hot hand. I won't say that Pollard's a better player than Zeke. I don't believe that. But Pollard's had the hot hand. Play him if he needs to be played.
Isn't the point to win games?
Exactly.
And that's what Zeke said.
Isn't that the whole point? You build a roster so that you can win games regardless of who's getting paid what. So the heck what? Dak's throwing the ball 26 times a game. Ain't nobody complaining about him making, $40+ million a year.
That's a great point.
Come on, dude. It's about winning ball games. It doesn't matter how you do it.
If Zeke doesn't care, why should anybody else care? And he said it last week. Nobody else is signing the checks or sending the wires or whatever. Right. I mean, so what does it matter? We got something going. It's a good recipe for it's a 17-game season now too.
Long
haul. That's true.
And what you're looking at is the national media and just Cowboy haters in general that want to stir up something between
trying to break this up.
Exactly. And look, when Zeke answered the question after the Tampa game, look, it's not about what shows up on the stat sheet. It's about the things the little things that don't show up. If that was said by anyone else, they would be like, that's a team first guy. But, that's kind of coaches speak thing, and most people applaud that. But for some reason, when Zeke says it, no one actually listens to him say that. So, and then when he comes out and has the game like he does, and people, oh, my God, 11. Tony Pollard had 11 carries for 60 yards, and he had his longest run was 11 yards. Zeke's longest was 13 yards. So, but these are things that get lost in translation when you talk about two guys and the thunder and lightning. If you don't like that, change up. A guy that comes in and offers something different, and I think the speed of Tony Pollard for defenses, when he comes into the game, you have to account for that, and just they're paranoid of it, and now the rest of the league is going to be on that same thing when they see 20 come into the ball game. So, again, that's why I asked you the question about play action, because to me, when Kellen Moore has play action in his bag, when he starts off with that, teams don't know what we're going to do. They don't know. And Dak is seeing the field so well right now that all of the haters, all the people that did the comparison thing with Wentz and the Detroit quarterback, man, where are those guys now? And look at where Dak is in his career and the way that he's playing. I mean, look, we're not going to forget about you haters, and we're going to call you out on it every time.
One more thing about the running game. I wrote this last week, and I didn't check week 3 stats, but there's only 2 guys in the entire league through 2 weeks of the regular season that had 25 carries. No team is really doing this. Some of it's the way the game is going. It's more pass-centric, and some of it is more 2-back combos. And if you've got 2 backs who can do it,
use them.
Yeah.
You see it working in Cleveland. I mean, Kareem Hunt had a huge day yesterday, and Nick Chubb's the one that's getting paid, right? I mean, it happens all the time where there's 2 backs, they're complementary, and going back to Heckma's point, teams look at these 2 backs and say, oh, gosh, Zeke can get outside, but, man, he is a powerful back inside. Oh, Tony Pollard, man, he can get outside, but he can still run through the tackles if he needs to.
But people like flashy. Let's just call a spade a spade. People like flashy. People like seeing the burst. The reality is Zeke's been running like this all year.
Yeah, he has.
He's been running like this all freaking year. He put the work in this offseason. He lost some weight. He became more explosive. He got with a coach that helped him with his cuts, right? That boy's shifty as all get out. He's being deliberate. He's putting his foot in the ground. He's getting vertical. He's still Zeke. People are forgetting, oh, by the way, as I'm looking at his stats, he averaged 4.5 yards per carry over his career. And guess where he's at right now?
5.5.
4.5 yards per carry. So, like, people they were hype on Zeke for all these years, and all of a sudden they want to be a Zeke hater because he had some fumbles last year when we freaking had our 17th string offensive line in. Like, get off of this dude. This dude is the same player. He's probably just more explosive now than he was then. He just hasn't had the breakout runs that Pollard's had. So the heck what? That's not what they're asking him to do. They're asking that dude to be freaking consistent, to be powerful, to be healthy, right, and continue to make the blocks and protect number 4 when he's not toting the ball, and continue to do your job as the RB1.
Ooh, I got one. Did anybody see Dalton Schultz last night?
Yes, Schultz-o-nager.
You better tell me. I mean, what about this guy carving out a role as a possession receiver on this team?
That boy wants that. He wants to swap salaries is what he wants to do.
He may get a chance. I mean, he was a real first multi-touchdown game of his career. The second one was just nutty. The way he was able to weave through the defense and then find the end zone. It was awesome.
I like his approach to the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's significant. I mean, I don't want to cause no controversy, but between him and if you had to compare it to him and Jarwin, I'm starting Schultz.
Somebody said it last night that he's like first in, last to leave. I mean, he's really, really worked at his game because when he first got here, there were things he had to get better at. Yep. I mean, he's still evolving as a blocker, and that's really what they need. But we've talked about the way they're trying to play this Cowboys offense. There's opportunities for a tight end underneath to make a bunch of plays. And it goes back to Kellen Moore, like the changing up the personnel and the different packages. Like they went 12 a lot last night and had success with it. Yep. Or, you don't have Michael Gallup, fine. We can still go 3 wide. We can spread you out. Cedric Wilson played well, but we can do a lot of different things. And I'm constantly off balance on what Kellen Moore is going to do.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. That's what you want. That's the sign of a good play caller. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that tweet from Nick last night saying that we'd gone 20 games before the last 2 games without a scoring drive on our first drive, and now we've had 2 back to back. I mean, it just makes things so much easier. And again, the efficiency of this offense, I'm loving. I had questions, just like everybody else, after the Tampa game when we didn't run that much. I can see now when you see other teams facing Tampa how they have just completely abandoned the run. And we've given them the blueprint. Rams, thank you very much. I know a blueprint when I see one. They took our blueprint on how to beat Tampa Bay. And just, look, as much criticism as we've given Kellen Moore, and last night, obviously, the reverse down in the red zone, I didn't like that, but I think that was just kind of rubbing it in your little brother's face if you actually get a touchdown there. Because I'm running a reverse on you on the goal line. I don't respect your defense at all. Yeah. So that was what that was, a little gamesmanship.
There's things you can nitpick. I mean, the sack, fumble, touchdown, deciding to throw out of there, fine. I mean, he's aggressive. That's his style. I'd just say there's 2 guys last night that their performance before national TV, that's what gets people's attention. Trayvon Diggs, that's the kind of performance that like Pro Bowl voters will remember if he keeps having this type of when you do it on Thanksgiving, you do it on primetime. The other thing is Kellen Moore doing this in front of a primetime audience. Like when it comes time for coaching vacancies around the league. There's going to be fans out there. Teams are going to do what they're going to do, but fans are like, oh yeah, I watched him on week 3. Man, they were really good.
Firing on all cylinders.
That was a national attention game for Kellen Moore as a play caller.
That's a great point because Trayvon Diggs hasn't really had that coming out party, that big time game. Because even as well as he's played throughout the season and even into the back half of last year, the Cowboys weren't center stage. Last night they were center stage, and he stole the show. And on the defensive side of the football, same thing with Kellen Moore on the offensive side, and both of those guys are continuing to ascend, and that's an exciting thing for this Cowboys organization. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, it's time for Smelly stickers for the second straight week. The Cowboys get a win. We give our game ball quote. I guess we call it Smelly stickers, but we're going to talk about it on the other side of the break here on Talkin Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with the Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more. Essilor on Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys.
It don't feel the same unless you do the mic throwaway. Come on, man.
We have a lot of shows, Heckman.
It's Kellen Moore too. You got to keep him off.
Got to keep him off balance.
Man.
He did it at the end this time than rather doing it at the beginning.
He didn't notice that,
It's good.
Notice that. It's okay.
It's good. All right, time for Smelly stickers. This is a tradition we have on Talkin Cowboys. We did it virtually last year, but now that we're back in studio, we actually have our helmet. Chris, I don't know if we can get a little close up here. We have our helmet. These are the 4 stickers from last week from the win over the Chargers. There we go. So Zach Martin, Terrence Steele, Tony Pollard, Micah Parsons. We've got our Smelly stickers from last week, and we use them pretty much as helmet stickers, or game balls, I should say, is whoever our player of the game is will get a Smelly sticker, and it'll be on the Cowboys helmet after every Cowboys win.
I like it.
Heckma, I'm going to let you start things off because I really like yours overall because, goodness gracious, you've got a good one you're giving away.
All right. Well, my Smelly sticker is going to be mango scented. Really good. Mango. You're going to like this. But my Smeller sticker goes to AT&T Stadium. The fans at AT&T Stadium last night, for the first time in a very long time, the fans were off the chain last night. And there's all this talk, there's no home field advantage in it. Hey, BS to that, because last night, boy, it looked like Happy Valley. Did somebody say it looked like Happy Valley
Micah
last
Parsons.
night?
Parsons said that.
I'm telling you, a college environment last night at AT&T. Cowboy fans, y'all showed up and showed out.
There you go. So Cowboys fans get the first one.
Yeah.
Rob, who's your Smelly sticker?
Kyle, thanks for buying these. Do you expense these?
No, I
like
didn't.
say 99 cents, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
I'm gonna go Osa Odigizua.
Say that again.
Osa Odigizua. 1.5 sacks, 2 quarterback hits out of 5 on Jalen Hurts, consistently in the backfield, making plays. Wasn't supposed to be a starter necessarily week 1 as a rookie. He's one of these young guys that's, already 3 weeks into the season, he's making an impact, and they should only, when you've got this many young players making plays over the course of 17 games, your defense should just continue to get better. He's been really, really good, and we saw it in training camp. But to be able to carry it over to games against really good offensive players, it's impressive.
And you needed him to step up without Neville Gallimore and without Carlos Watkins as well. I mean, they were missing 2 guys on the interior to where
big facts.
You needed somebody to step up, and Osa was one of those guys that did that. So I really like that one as well. All right, Isaiah. Oh, you're scratching and you're sniffing.
It's pineapple.
You like that?
Yeah, I like pineapple. Pineapple's my favorite fruit.
Is it?
If anybody knew that. I'm going with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is in his bag, and he's very acidic to the defenses that he's facing.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there? He's been a thorn in their side. I think Kellen Moore is just doing the doggone thing, I think he's being very versatile in his offerings, and he's using the talent that he has. Even Connor freaking McGovern in the backfield as a fullback.
The fridge.
Yeah.
The fridge.
2.0. Yeah,
you
2.0.
You got to explain that to people.
The refrigerator pair. That's right. The big dog. That's Chi-Town. But yeah, no. Hey, Smelly sticker going to Kellen Moore.
You never thought you would see your Connor bros on the same side of the field, huh?
No, but the way in which they were utilized, they were effective. So it was good.
There you go. So Isaiah's putting his on. So we've had the fans.
Hey, who else put a pineapple?
We've had Isaiah.
Yeah, I got SpongeBob over there.
Oh, there you go.
We'll put them next to each other.
We've had Osa Odigizua. We've had Kellen Moore. I'm going to go ahead and go with the obvious one since we haven't talked about him yet. Trayvon Diggs, baby.
Say Fossil. Dang it.
John Fossil? That's yeah, probably not. Man, he was sweet to watch last night. I'm trying to pull my best Isaiah. I've got a cupcake Smelly sticker. So, yeah, I'm going to say Trayvon Diggs. I mean, goodness gracious. Another interception. He's the first Cowboys defender since Everson Walls to have picks in the first 3 games of the season.
Ew.
And not only that, man, he blanketed whoever he was covering. I mean, of course, Philadelphia has a couple different weapons. Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, and Devontae Smith. It didn't matter who he was covering. Trayvon Diggs is a dude. So we've got our Smelly stickers hooked up on the back of the helmet. You can go ahead and add yours, Heckma.
Thank you.
I know you didn't pull it out of the package.
I did not.
But yeah, so Cowboys get a win, 41-21. Now, looking ahead to this week, we're of course going to preview the Carolina Panthers, but an undefeated Carolina team comes to town.
Challenging.
3-0. Now, they are a little banged up.
Yes, they are.
No Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
No J.C. Horn.
Yes.
But they did go and get C.J. Henderson from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
How long did they say McCaffrey's out?
Few weeks.
Yeah.
They didn't put him on IR, which means he could return whenever. Yeah. But I think the thought is after week 4, they would probably play him.
Did they have to do that trade right before they played us?
They traded a tight end and a 3rd-round pick to Jacksonville for C.J. Henderson, who was the number 9 overall pick a year ago. Really good corner, at least coming out of Florida.
Yep.
Kind of struggled a little bit, but he's still got some skill.
Yep. Well, maybe the Cowboys get Kelvin Joseph back very soon. He's eligible this week, so we'll see. We'll talk to Mike, see where he's at.
Anybody else eligible this week, or is it just Joseph?
Everybody who started the season on IR technically is. Now, I don't. Neville Gallimore's not ready. Michael Gallup, I don't think's ready yet, but he's still got a couple.
He would have one more week, right?
Yeah, I want to see Sam Darnold. I want to see him. We owe him from that Jets victory a couple of years ago. And it's payback time. He had no business. And he had a performance versus us that had everybody second-guessing the way that the Jets looked at him. And I thought it was completely flukish. But Sam Darnold, it's your birthday.
I like that.
Wow, you're calling a shot.
I like this stretch
on Tuesday.
The stretch of games we have coming up after Carolina. This is a tough game we got this week. After this week, I like that.
Feeling
stretch.
pretty good?
I like this stretch now.
I'm still feeling pretty good.
I mean, I
Cowboys are in first place.
Yeah.
And even though both teams are a little banged up, I still feel good about the matchup that you would have with Carolina. Jesus. We're going to preview it starting tomorrow. We'll talk about the Carolina offense going up against the Cowboys defense, and then we'll also flip it on Thursday. What was that? You looking at it still?
I'm just, yeah.
You getting excited?
Oh, you got it up?
Yeah.
Is your expectation level finally
Giants,
rising?
Patriots, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons.
What you feeling?
15-1, or where are we going here?
And then we play the Chiefs. We'll get to that later on.
Hey, they're 1-2.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares about them right now? All right, that's it for us here on Talking Cowboys. Hope you had fun with us over the last 45 minutes. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. We start looking ahead to Week 4 as the Cowboys are in first place. For Chris Beam in the back, Rob Phillips, Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you next time.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!